Hi everyone, Sandra Duran Wilson here, and welcome to Mixed Media Soul Sparks. This is another episode that I want to show you some unique products and techniques. Now, one of my books that I wrote, I have 6 altogether, and one of them was Acrylic Painting for Encaustic Effects. And I think I covered some of these things in the book, so I just want to give you an idea of ways that you can use this Dura-Lar products. This is a company, nice company, graphics. They make these different acetate alternatives. So this one is wet media, and this one right here that I'm going to work with is matte film. So this is the one that I think is a really quick, easy way to get this faux encaustic look. I just stamped some paint on this side. Now, if you look at it, on this side, it gives it that almost hazy, waxy look. It's almost like an instant layer of wax. So I'm going to over stamp this. This is the same stamp. And let me just, I've got this paint on my palette, and let's just put a little on here. Let's just, same side. But now I start to get these layers that are kind of coming through. I could even flip this over. Let's say, let's mix my colors here. Water here. I added some water, so it's going to give it a really soft look. I'll move this one over here. Not as much pressure. Interesting effect. But building up, I can work on both sides of this. It's like, it's similar in some ways to Yupo, the transparent type of Yupo, but it doesn't, it's just a different feel, the way it takes the paint. Now, there's a few other incredible things you can do with this stuff. I'm going to set that aside. This is the wet media. It actually takes paint really, really well. You know, I can just go in here and paint directly on here. Get some beautiful movement, and it doesn't curl. It doesn't do any of the things that if I used a really wet paint on paper or something. Just come back in here and play with this. Now you say, well, that doesn't really look like wax so much. But if you flip it over, you put some matte medium over the surface, maybe even put another layer over there, it's really going to start to look like wax. So let me show you a couple other things you can do with this. You can actually run this, well, let me show you this one first. This is the matte one that I had painted on, both sides. This side doesn't have any paint on it. This side does. So what if I come back here with my little stamp, start to do some stuff like this. I'm getting a lot of mileage out of that little bit of paint. And then this can go over another painted surface. It's really going to start to look like wax. This is a piece that I've painted just using acrylic paint, scrape back into it. You can choose which side you like. You can layer this with another piece. This is a string spray. I can layer these up. What's it going to look like if I put it over that one? You know, you start to get a lot of these layers. Now, how do you put these layers together? Depends how many layers you have. I usually tend to work with just a couple of layers at most, and I'm going to use a gel medium to put those together. If you want it to look mostly like wax, on the clear, use a matte gel or a semi-gloss gel. If you're working with the matte, just use a semi-gloss to a gloss, because otherwise it's going to diffuse it a lot. Another thing you can do is you can print on this. I ran this through my laser printer. You could do the same thing on a photo inkjet. but you'd have to spray that. The laser, it's not going to go anywhere. And I can choose which side I might want to use. Let me give you an idea of how these layers might work. So here I have, this is work on paper. Texture, I haven't even collaged this on. It's just a piece of paper that I cut out for another piece. Now let's see, I could just put all this down with a gel medium. And then I have a layer that I've actually printed. This is an image I made, and I printed it on, and if I put that over, it gives it a really interesting effect. Now, of course, it's very shiny right now, so I'm going to seal this with a semi-gloss medium. I'll put the semi-gloss medium over this whole part, press this down, and then put another layer of semi-gloss on top of that, kind of sandwiching it in there. Of course, it's going to take it a long time to dry, a couple of days probably. And I'll show you one that I did that with. Here is, I printed, I'll just show it this way. I printed this image. Now I've started to glue it down here. You can see how it's kind of stuck, but look at the background. So I'm using that background and I'm putting this piece on top. This is where the gel is. I decided to glue the whole thing across rather than having an edge in the middle. And once I'll just apply more gel off camera, but you can see how it's stuck there, and then let it dry. I'll come back in and paint some more on top of it, and I'll show you a finished piece when I get this one done. But when I put that semi-gloss gel or even a matte gel, it's really going to make it look like wax. One more quick product that they make. Oh, here's the same image that, I just haven't, I did two of them. So if you're planning out and you want to have the whole thing go across, you can do that as well. This is just some paper, and it's got lots of paint on it. This is a computer graphics. It's got a backing. You can make, it's made for craft stuff. You can make little stickers and stuff with it, but you can just put it directly onto the paper. You rub it. I put the whole thing in my printer, and you see it comes apart here. It's sticky. It's not super sticky, so personally, I think I would take this and add some gel to make sure it stays down. It's translucent. It's not transparent. As you can see a little bit of that color underneath. So it's another way to get kind of a faux encaustic look. I can layer these things up. I can create these papers. I could cut those up and then use them as collage in another piece. So much fun painting on these. See how you can make a kind of a big swoosh. I like that word, swoosh. And what if I added that in here, play around? Look at the effects you can get. It's a great way to kind of look at layers before you commit to them. It's kind of the analog of Photoshop, so to speak. So take a look at my shop and you'll see where you can find some of these products. It's by Graphics, and I really enjoy adding these in as elements into a larger piece. However, you could create a piece just using this acetate alternative, frame it or mount it in some alternative ways. So let me see what you're doing. Post it in the Facebook group or send me an email. Check it out. I always get back to you. Love hearing from you. So that's it for this time. Until next time, go explore. Join the Creative Awakening community on Facebook, where you'll be able to post your art, connect with other creatives around the world, and ask questions. Use the hashtag #MixedMediaSoulSparks when posting your work on social media. Thanks for joining me,